Okay, let us look at the last question. Hence, find the value of R for which the total surface area of a glass is minimum. Right, it's important that you should note what is the keyword there. In this particular case, this becomes my keyword, minimum. It might not necessarily be minimum, it can also be maximum. So my keyword here, it's either when I see the word maximum or minimum, I know that there I've got to differentiate. For example, remember we just done graphs with you. If I have this one, if this is the graph that I'm dealing with, it's a cubic function. Remember, this is a turning point where there is no gradient. Calculus is the study of gradient. So we know that the gradient here is 0, and we know that the gradient here is also 0. But what is this value called? My value graph here, parabola, maximum value, minimum value. So it doesn't matter whether they use maximum or minimum, but they are talking about a point where the gradient is 0. Whether they use minimum or maximum, they're talking about the point where the gradient is 0. Unit gradient is derivative. So when we differentiate, we're just looking for nothing else but the gradient. Now the question says, hence find the value of R for which the surface area, the surface area, this, is what? Is minimum. Find the value of R, school value of R, where this is minimum. Total minimum, it's where the gradient is 0. Unit gradient, it's where we're looking for the derivative. Let's quickly write this one. We're saying SR, surface area, is equals to, it's about pi r squared. This is pi r squared plus, because we're doing it in terms of r, in other words, a r to the power n. So this will be what? We take this r on top. So this will be 400 r. This r was to the power 1. Most is to the power minus 1. That's become important. Now I can use my rules of differentiation to find the gradient where this is minimum. Where it is minimum, we know that the gradient where it is minimum, it will be 0. So in other words, when we are looking for, we let our derivative equal 0. Because at that point, it is minimum. Let's quickly do it. Let's find the derivative there. It will be what? This is 2 pi r. This is 2 pi r. Because it's 2, then we subtract 1 there. Let's do the other one. It will be minus times plus. It will be minus 400 r to the power. That is minus 2. It's minus 1, minus 1. It's minus 2. This is equals to 0. Because the gradient at that particular point, at maximum or at minimum, it is 0. There is no gradient at that particular point. Then all that we need to do now is to solve for r. Asambeni, what is it that we're looking for? R or r bahlakazekile basendaweni eningi. Ake sibaxoxe basendaweni eyodwa. Now, how do I get rid of r this side? I multiply it by r squared this side and also multiply it by r squared this side. Let's do that. When we multiply it by r squared this side, we're going to have 2 pi r cubed now. It's r cubed. Remember, when you multiply powers, this is power 1. When you multiply powers with the same base, you add the exponent, 2 plus 1, which gives us 3. On this other side, remember, we multiplied by r squared. So this one will go with this one. Hence, we'll be left with 400. Remember, we're not looking for 2 pi r cubed. We're just looking for r. So, zonke izinto eziseduze kwa-r manje. We're starting with this coefficient of r cubed. So if I divide by 2 pi this side, I've got to divide by 2 pi that side. What are we left with? We're left with r cubed equals to 400 over 2 pi. But that's not what we're looking for. We're just looking for r. So r in this particular case, how do I get rid of this cubed? I put a cube root on both sides. So I've put a cube root on this side as well. So my r will be equals to that, which is, take our calculator. Remember, if you're not using the natural display, if you're using sharp, you start from the inside. But if you're using the natural display calculator, the Casio, you write what you see. You would have started from here and moved that side. But if I'm using Casio, or if I'm using sharp, I'll start in from the inside. In this case, I've got 400 divided by plus division sign. You divide, what is it that we have here? It's 2 pi. So you press 2, then you look for pi. Pi is just there on top of the DRG button, which is pi. I read the answer. My answer there is 63,66 and so on and so forth, but I'm just looking for the cube root of it. Remember, in most calculators, cube rooting is answer. That's where you go and press the second function, then you press the x to the power cube 3 button, which underneath will be the cube root sign. In this particular case, the answer would be 3,993 units. Remember, if the question says correct to 2 decimal places, will show 3,99 units. Remember that the radius is a distance, and we're not given the dimensions here. So we'll just write 3,99 units in this particular case. Thank you.